Tonight, I look at the sky. Hammond needs a booster seat. And James gets kidnapped in a mini. Hello and welcome back to Top Game. Yes, indeed, we are back with the car motoring show that is completely sensible and completely not redone in game. However, we first off start with a car review on a car which is something Hammond likes. However, Hammond is usually selling fish, so therefore he cannot do it. So I have to stand in, and well, I'll just say it is the Dodge Challenger SRT8. Whoop whoop, off we go. This is the Dodge Challenger SRT-8. It has 470 Wild West Stallions underneath its bonnet of the V8 engine. It has a maximum torque of 469 pounds per foot of it, which is a lot, for those of you who don't know. It also weighs 4,140 pounds and has a top speed of 182 miles an hour. Not to mention a 0 to 60. Which is done in 4.6 seconds. Now, this is a very good car. Costs you around £30,000 if you like calendars, which Richard Hammonds and 12-year-olds seem to like. So therefore, it is a car for them. However, is it a practical car? Can you do your normal shopping? Can you take the kids to school in it? Well, I attempted to find out. So, the 2012 Dodge SRT-8. Well, is it any good? Well, to starters, it's always best to look at in the interior, but assuming that's where you're going to spend most of your time. Unless you somehow manage to do a Mr. Bean and plant a chair on the roof. The insides tend to have a very American look, something Richard Hammond would look forward to. A few little things, such as more TV screens apparently. We also have lots of vents for your aircon, because that big thing probably filters everything. It also has a proud Dodge logo, a good little sat-nav version on the TV screen as well, that all comes included. Lots of nice little blue effects on the dials. But then again, do you really need blue effects on the dials? These are the things Richard Hammond doesn't ask himself, and that's why he's an owner of a Porsche. Regardless of that, how does the car handle? Now, of course, these are other vital questions, and there are many more. We could sit here all day and discuss vital questions such as, can it power slide, can it do whatever? Most likely not, because I mean, it's a V8. But, however, I will admit, it is a fairly nice one for an American V8. Note the for American V8. It still has many problems like drifting. In my opinion, it doesn't do very good at. So, you know, as you can see here, I'm trying. Just try and take it round. You know, it can. Don't get me wrong, it definitely can go round corners. It's just not as well as a European car, because obviously in America there's less corners, hence the reason why their trucks have massive long bonnets on them and ours don't, and also so you're less likely to run over stuff with ours. There's that as well. But is this car really practical? Is this something you'd want to drive about? Well, obviously these are the questions we don't ask. You go to 5th gear for that. However, we might as well answer that. No, it isn't. It's got a massive yellow thing on the front, a good air intake, which Richard Hammond or any other 12-year-old would go, yay! But of course, we're all sophisticated here, aren't we? So therefore, we feel that that's just unnecessary. I mean, it has an all-in 2 backlight, as you may see, which is unnecessary because it's just stupid. I don't like it. I prefer it just to have 2 little red things that just tell you if you're going to crash into the back of somebody or not. In my opinion, it's a lot sleeper. Better. Yeah, they're all the same things. It can handle steep corners very well, which is good if you're a NASCAR driver. Then again, the average Joe or Joe Blogs who might buy this car, or Richard Hammond, wouldn't really be going around a NASCAR track unless they are obviously Richard Hammond, in which case they probably will. So, is it really any good? I know I keep asking this question a lot, but this is what you've got to ask yourself when you're in a car. Is it something that I want to be seen driving around in? Is it something that I can take the kids to school in? Can I store the chickens in the back? Well, the answer to all of them is no. Because, to be honest, this isn't really a kid-friendly car. It's got a massive bonnet on the front, with a massive bonnet ornament, as Richard Hammond would wow at, which is all good and everything. But really, if you want to transport kids to school in this, then they've got a tight squeeze in the back. I mean, you're better off with some kind of big van or something. You know them massive people carrier vans. You're better off with something like that, because it can generally store them in there without having to stuff them in the boot, just to try and get them to class on time. But hold on, this is a 480 brake horsepower V8 Dodge Challenger. Is this really what you're looking for in a kid's car? Obviously not. So we're going to ask somebody, or well, pretend to ask somebody, because of course he's not here, he's selling fish currently. What is the V8 good for? What would they think of this? Oh, I think it's very good. Oh yes, I love it. I love the bonnet ornament and everything. Oh yes, yes, yes. Oh, it's got a plate on the back of it. Okay, so there we go. We've asked Richard Hammond in our minds, and he says he loves it. Therefore, we don't like it because he likes it. And you know, I just have a problem with it because for this kind of a car, I mean, you could get something much better. I mean, you could get possibly some form of a Porsche if you're lucky. I mean, why? What is the point of this? I will admit, muscle cars are indeed nice. They can be nice, but they're just not practical enough. And I know this isn't a car for the 100% practical person who has to stuff the baggage in the back or whatever forms of chicken carcasses they're carrying off back to the oven. But, come on. Is this really what you want parked in your drive? You're more likely to get robbed than anything with this. So, the Dodge Challenger is roughly around £30,000 when you eventually find one that is available in the UK. And you've got to think, £30,000, what could I do with that? Well, you indeed could do a lot of things with that money. You could go on holiday, you could give it to somebody, you could, I don't know, whatever you want to do to it. I mean, you could shove it down your car, you could chuck it out your bedroom window, you could do anything with it. But instead, you buy a Dodge Challenger STR8. So obviously, you expect the best out of it. However, that's not really what you end up getting. I'm afraid to say, this car isn't fully exactly what I hoped it was. I was going to expect a lovely, big, American V8, which could thunder through corners and power slide, you know, like they're meant to. But instead, what we get is this, which just seems more like a calendar car than anything else. And of course, if you are indeed a Richard Hammond, or a 12-year-old child, then you will indeed enjoy the look of this car, and then you might look at that and go, that looked cool. But I'm afraid to say, it's just not for me. I mean, £30,000, I could do a lot of things with that. I could get a nice holiday so I wouldn't have to go on a caravan holiday with James May. So, you know, there you go. £30,000, not worth it. So there it was, the Dodge Challenger SRT-8. Now, we must find out how fast it goes round our track. And to do this, we need to hand it over to our tame racing Kerbal. Some say he is thoroughly confused by puddles. And you shouldn't go round his for Christmas dinner unless you like the taste of seagull. All we know is he's called the Stig. Here's Stig on light, and he's off. Yes, he's off in the Dodge Challenger SRT-8, which is obviously not a very good car unless you're Hammond. As you can see, he's terribly, very badly struggling round the first corners of the major long S-bends of this circuit. As you can see, oh, he's not doing very well indeed. Oh no, here comes Stig, up to a very tight hairpin bend. This is where everything could go wrong, especially with this car. Oh! And it has. Stig nearly being stopped there by the corner, but in the power of the Stig, he never stops. He's got to keep going, unless he has a power outage, which may have happened before. We've gotten it that. But anyway, here he comes. He's coming around another hairpin bend. Oh, brace yourselves. Ooh! it actually managed to go around there. But then again, this is the Stig, you see. He can handle anything. Here he is, going down the centre, using a bit of nitros from the street. And across the line. So, the Dodge Challenger did it in a time of 2 minutes and 28 seconds. Yes, putting it below the RUF CTR-3, but indeed above the Ford Focus. Right, James now has something to say. Now it's time for the news. And we have very short news today because the AMG GTS, which is going to be the brand new F1 safety car, has obviously been revealed. It's got a V8 4-litre twin-turbo engine at 510 horsepower, and it produces 479 pounds per foot of torque, 0 to 62 in 3.8 seconds, and has a top speed of 200 miles per hour. This is replacing the original SLS AMG, which is a V8 6.2 litre, which is obviously good for F1 because now they've got all the 6 V6 engines in the F1 cars, and it's all got quiet, and a lot of people miss that. So obviously the fact that they're putting V8s back in is a good sign. So let's just hope for the best. But with that, we were looking at a Landspeed record. And obviously, we were just generally interested in. We're just looking at the Bloodhound, which is trying to set a top speed of something like 1,000 miles per hour, which is just insane. And we thought we could be its rival. So, the producers gave us a little bit of money of whatever was left over in the taxpayers' pot, and we set off to beat the speed limit. What's Hammond going to bring? I mean, he could bring anything. I bet he's going to bring something like a Porsche. I bet he's going to be really stupid about this. Yeah, he'll probably bring something like that. Something just moronic and stupid, as you said before. I mean, it's Hammond. I mean, he knows no other ways. However, the orangutan and the spaniel were both wrong. Because what I had brought was a Mini Cooper. Oh, here he is. Oh my god. He's brought himself his own car. Look at that. He actually fits in there. Ha ha ha. What do you think to this? Okay, this is good. However, though, we're attempting to beat the Landspeed record and you've brought a Mini Cooper. Hammond, what are we meant to use this for? Hold on a second. I think he's actually onto something here. Haha, you see, the Spaniel has guessed it right. I am onto something, because as you remember, when the actual Top Gear crew did the ski slope challenge with a car, they indeed used a Mini and put rockets in it. So therefore, we're going to follow the same way. Rockets. Sounds powerful enough. And with that, we yet again cued the music and broke out the hammers. What do you think? Well, if I can be honest, not really a lot has changed, has it? You've just shoved a few tubes with some... What are these nozzles? Clarkson, you haven't done this properly. We need more velocity and to overcome the certain drag forces that may apply on this car and the weight of... May, you're hurting my brain, shut up. For the first time ever, I think May might be suggesting more power. Oh well, gotta test this once, so we might as well go do it. I don't feel safe in the back with these things. Eventually we arrived and the Mini was ready. Now you watch, okay? Viewers at home, you are about to see us break the Landspeed record, which is around 600 meters per second. Right, let's get ready. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, blast off! Whoa ho ho! Oh, what's happening? Okay, that didn't have the best start, but it's off. Look. Look at it. Look at it. Oh. Where's that gone? Oh. Cock. We then got the results. Okay, right, so the top speed is 600 meters per second. That's what we got to beat. And the Mini did it in 31 meters. Really? Right, back to the drawing board. Next up, it was Hammond's design. As you can see here, my design is very well thought out. Obviously no one drives this, otherwise they would die miserably. However, we have 4 large rockets on the back. Compared to James' little puny things, these should actually do something. Oh, they're bigger. Although Hammond, I don't think they're big enough. However, that didn't matter, as he was about to launch. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, blast off! Yeah. Hammond, you pillock! Sadly, there wasn't much for me to try out with my car. Finally up was mine. Clarkson, what the hell have you done? They're small compared to me. God, what is it? Haha, I rang up the UK Rocket Association and they recommended these. Now you might look at them and think they're small, but actually these are the most powerful engines in the world. And they are going to be better as they're mounted on proper wheels that won't break. Alright, stand back and let my genius outshine everybody else. Alright, lift off in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift off! Oh God! And with that, back to the studio. Well, that went tremendously well. Yes, but on that bombshell, thank you so very much for watching, and good night!